Olá, pessoal, tudo bem? Sejam bem-vindos e bem-vindas ao canal Inglês de Verdade. Hoje você ouvirá um pequeno podcast para testar seu listening em inglês. Após ouvi-lo, você responderá 5 perguntas sobre o assunto falado para testar a sua compreensão. Fazendo isso, além de praticar seu listening, você ainda vai ganhar vocabulário em inglês. Caso queira, você pode ativar a legenda em inglês que está disponível no vídeo. Então, vamos começar!
Welcome to the deep dive. We're getting into the ideas you've shared with us, and today it's all about, well, a really common journey. Learning English, but doing it completely on your own.
That's right. And it's something so many people are exploring. Maybe traditional classes don't fit, or maybe they just prefer that control, learning at their own speed. Self-study, it really offers amazing flexibility.
Yeah, total control. You pick the
Right.
focus, the time, the place. You're basically the pilot. But anyone who's tried knows it's not just smooth sailing. It's not enough to just want it.
Mhm.
You need a strategy, right? You need discipline, and you need to know how to actually use all the stuff that's out there.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into. Based on the materials we looked at, our goal here is to pull out those core ideas, the strategies that really work, to help you figure out how to tackle this successfully.
Okay, so what are the essentials? What really makes a difference?
Well, let's start with the why. Why do people even choose this independent path? What are the big plus points that jump out from the material?
Good question.
Flexibility is definitely number one. The guidance really highlights how you can shape the learning around your life. Got a crazy job, family stuff, you're not locked into specific class times.
Right, you can fit it into the gaps. Like a commute, maybe?
Yeah, or lunch breaks, or maybe you're a night owl.
Mm-hmm.
You study when you're actually alert and ready. It bends to your schedule, not the other way around.
That makes a huge difference, and cost must be a factor, too.
Oh, absolutely. Compared to a lot of formal courses, it can be much, much cheaper. There's so much quality material online now that's free or, pretty low cost.
So that freedom, that autonomy, it's really appealing if you like setting your own course.
Definitely. But, and this is a big but in the material, that freedom comes with responsibility. It's not just about downloading apps.
Uh-huh. You need more than just access.
Right. The people who really succeed, they're consistent, they stay motivated, and crucially, they're using the right techniques and tools. It's about smart effort.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Which brings us to what the material says is step 1, like the absolute must-do first thing, defining your goals. Why is getting specific about the why so important?
Because it's your map, basically. English is huge, right? If your goal is just get better at English, where do you even start?
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's too vague.
Exactly. A clear goal gives you focus. The guidance points this out really strongly.
What kind of goals do they mention? Like specific examples?
All sorts. Things like needing to pass a test like TOEFL or IELTS.
Yeah.
You often need those for university or moving abroad.
Okay, the official exams.
Yeah. Or maybe it's about work, being able to communicate better with colleagues or clients. Or maybe it's simpler, like just wanting to watch movies without needing subtitles all the time.
And I can see how those different goals mean you'd focus on different skills.
Precisely. If you want to chat comfortably, you'll probably double down on listening and speaking practice. If it's for university, reading academic articles and writing essays becomes way more important.
Professional English would need specific vocabulary, I guess.
For sure. You need the language relevant to your job, your industry. So yeah, your why really determines your how. It breaks the huge task down.
It makes it feel less like climbing a mountain.
And they suggest going even smaller. Break down those big goals into mini goals, things you can actually measure week by week.
Like what?
Instead of become fluent, maybe it's learn 50 new words this week, or hold a 5-minute chat about my day in English.
Ah, okay. So you get these little victories along the way. That must help with motivation.
Huge motivator. It shows you you're actually moving forward. And that links straight into the next big thing, building a study routine, consistency.
Ah, yes, the routine. Often the hardest part for solo learners, right? Sticking with it.
It really is. But the material stresses it's the engine of progress.
Mm.
And they're not saying you need hours every day. The key is realistic, something you can actually maintain.
30 minutes a day, maybe?
Even that.
Mm-hmm.
Done consistently, it adds up massively over time. It's about building a habit you won't just drop after a week.
Sustainable effort. I like that. Does the material give an example of what a routine could look like?
It does, yeah. A really helpful sample weekly plan, just to give you an idea.
Okay, walk us through it.
So picture your week. Maybe Monday is vocabulary day. Use flashcards and app. Learn your target number of words.
Got it. Vocab Monday.
Tuesday could be listening. Watch a short YouTube video, listen to a podcast bit, maybe with subtitles first, then without.
Okay.
Wednesday, grammar. Pick one specific thing, like maybe the present perfect tense. Study the rule, do some exercises.
Focused grammar practice.
Thursday, speaking. This is tough alone, but you could record yourself talking about something.
Yeah.
Or try that mimicking thing, shadowing.
We'll come back to shadowing. So Friday.
Friday, reading. An article online, a short story, read it, maybe summarize it quickly.
And the weekend.
Review and practice, maybe some language games, or if you can find someone, try a quick chat.
That structure seems really helpful. Takes the guesswork out of, what should I do today?
Exactly. You hit all the bases regularly. And they suggest using tools you already have, like Google Calendar reminders or those habit tracker apps.
Start small, get the rhythm.
And build from there. Prevent burnout. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual skills. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. The material has specific strategies for each when you're learning solo.
Right. The core 4. Let's start with listening. Seems pretty basic, but how do you practice it effectively alone?
Well, listening is how you tune your ear, right? To the sounds, the rhythm, the intonation, how English actually sounds.
Yeah.
The advice is start easy, pick stuff at your level.
Don't jump into, like, complex news reports straight away.
Probably not. Gradually increase the difficulty. There are tons of resources. Podcasts made for learners, like BBC Learning English, 6-Minute English, they're great.
Okay, learner-focused stuff. What else?
YouTube channels for learners are everywhere. And then just regular movies and TV shows you like. Start with subtitles in English, maybe? Then try without. Shows with everyday chat are often good starting points.
Learning while watching Friends reruns. Sounds good to me.
Hey, whatever works. But the key is active listening. Don't just let it wash over you.
What does active listening involve?
Things like pausing the audio and repeating a phrase you heard, or trying to guess what someone might say next, or even just summarizing a little bit of what you heard, out loud or written down.
So engaging with it.
Exactly. Using audiobook apps or podcast apps also gives you loads of different voices and topics.
Got it. Okay, now, speaking. This feels like the big hurdle for self-studiers.
Yeah.
How do you practice talking without, well, someone to talk to?
Yeah, it's the tricky one, and the material definitely acknowledges that. But there are ways. One technique mentioned is shadowing.
Shadowing. Tell me more.
So you listen to a short clip of a native speaker, maybe just a sentence. Then you immediately try to repeat it, copying their pronunciation, their rhythm, their intonation, like their echo or their shadow.
Oh, interesting. So you're mimicking the sound and flow, not just the words?
Exactly. It helps train your mouth muscles and develop a more natural sound. Another thing is using tech to connect. Apps like HelloTalk or Tandem. They connect you with native speakers learning your language.
The language exchange idea.
Right. You teach them a bit, they help you practice English. Win-win. And honestly, just recording yourself talking is powerful.
Recording yourself, like talking to your phone.
Yeah. Describe your room, talk about your day, explain something you learned, then listen back. It can be cringy at first.
I can imagine.
But it's so useful for hearing where you need to improve. And the big message here is, don't worry about mistakes. Seriously. Focus on getting your message out, building that fluency first.
Communication over perfection.
Absolutely. And you can find practice partners in online communities too, like on Reddit's language learning forums.
Okay, so there are strategies. Phew. What about reading? How does that fit in for solo learners?
Reading is huge for vocabulary building and seeing grammar in action. Plus, it just improves your general understanding. The advice is, again, pick stuff at the right level.
Don't start with Shakespeare on day 1.
Please don't. Graded readers are fantastic for this. They're books written specifically for learners. Then you can move up to news websites, BBC News, The Guardian, whatever interests you. Some tools can even help you read web articles more easily, letting you click words for definitions.
Oh, like built-in dictionary help while reading online. That's useful.
Very. And even social media. Following accounts in English gives you little bursts of reading practice with real, current language.
Okay, and how do you read actively? Not just letting your eyes skim.
Good question. The material suggests things like underlining words you don't know, trying to guess the meaning from the context before you look it up.
Okay, guess first.
Yeah. Then check the definition. Make notes of new words. And summarizing what you read, just a sentence or two, spoken or written, really helps confirm you understood it.
Underline, guess, check, summarize. Got it. And finally, writing. Why bother with writing if your main goal is speaking?
Because writing forces you to actively use the grammar and vocabulary you're learning. It really cements it in your brain. You have to construct the sentences yourself.
Makes sense. What are some simple ways to practice?
Keeping a journal in English is a classic suggestion. Just write a little bit each day about anything. Doesn't have to be profound.
And tools can help here too.
Definitely. Using something like Grammarly while you write can catch errors and help you learn from them. Also, participating in online forums about your hobbies, but in English. Asking questions, replying to people.
So writing for a real purpose, almost.
Exactly. Or finding a pen pal, maybe through an app like Slowly. It's lower pressure than speaking sometimes. Start with simple sentences and build up complexity. And, occasionally reviewing grammar rules helps too, maybe using a good reference book.
Okay, so specific tactics for each skill. And technology seems woven through all of this.
It's a massive enabler for self-study. Makes it so much more accessible and, honestly, more engaging.
What are some of the key tech tools mentioned in the materials?
Well, there's a whole range. For general learning, often gamified, you've got apps like Duolingo or Babbel, good for basics.
The popular ones.
Yeah. For really drilling vocabulary, Anki is often recommended. It uses spaced repetition.
Ah, the smart flashcard system.
That's the one. Shows you the word just before you'd forget it. Super effective. Quizlet is another good one for flashcards and quizzes.
Okay, what about websites?
BBC Learning English comes up again. Tons of free stuff. ESL Fast has simple stories with audio. And Grammarly for writing help.
And dictionaries are obviously crucial.
Oh, indispensable. Online ones like Cambridge or Merriam-Webster are great. They usually have audio pronunciations and example sentences, which is key.
Hearing it pronounced is vital.
Totally. And YouTube, of course. So many channels dedicated to teaching English, offering free lessons. Even social media like X, you can follow experts, find tips with hashtags like #LearnEnglish.
Wow, so you really can build a whole learning ecosystem just with your devices.
You absolutely can. But having the tools isn't the same as using them consistently. The material also talks about the challenges people face studying alone.
Right, the roadblocks. What are the common ones?
Motivation, or lack thereof, is a big one. Without a teacher checking up on you, it's easy to slip. The advice, those small achievable goals we talked about, give you quick wins. Rewards help too. And finding online study groups gives you that accountability.
Community support, even virtual. What about hitting a wall, feeling like you're stuck, the plateau?
Oh yeah, the dreaded plateau. Happens to literally everyone learning a language. The key advice is, change things up. If one method feels stale, try another. Switch your focus skill, find a new app, read something totally different. Variety can break the logjam.
Shape it up. Good idea. And the fear of mistakes, especially speaking.
This comes up a lot. The material is really encouraging here. Mistakes are normal, expected, even good. They show you're trying. Focus on getting your meaning across. Native speakers usually appreciate the effort. Don't let fear stop you from trying.
Effort over perfection again. And just finding the time.
Yeah, time management, we're all busy. The suggestion is to find your best time, morning, lunch, evening, and protect even just 15 or 20 minutes for focused study then. Short, consistent bursts beat infrequent marathon sessions.
Okay, so practical ways to tackle those common issues. Now, there was this really interesting idea mentioned, immersion without travel. How do you actually do that? Create an English world at home.
This is about weaving English into your daily life. Simple tricks, really, like changing your phone language, your computer language, your app languages to English.
Ooh, that's constant exposure right there.
Instantly. Listen to English music you like, pop, rock, whatever, but look up the lyrics and read along. Connect the sound and the text.
Okay, music and lyrics.
Another fun one. Get some sticky notes and label things around your house.
Yeah.
Fridge, door, chair, kettle. You see the words all day.
Passive learning. I like it.
And try thinking in English during simple tasks, like narrate what you're doing in your head. Okay, now I'm chopping the onions. Where are my keys? It makes your brain practice retrieving words.
So it's not just study time, it's integrating English into living.
Exactly. Building connections outside the lesson. And as you do all this, the material emphasizes tracking your progress. It's important.
Right, to see you're actually getting somewhere. How do they suggest tracking?
Keep it simple. A learning journal works. Jot down new words, grammar points you finally get, maybe a note when you understood something complex. Also, taking free online tests sometimes, like the EF, SAT, or Cambridge tests, can give you a benchmark every few months.
Ah, so you get objective feedback.
Yeah, see that level go up. And, crucially, celebrate the small wins. Understood a tricky podcast segment. Awesome. Had a short conversation. Pat yourself on the back. It keeps the positive energy flowing.
Seeing progress fuels more progress. Makes sense.
Definitely. And finally, the material sums up with a few core mindset reminders.
What are those last key takeaways?
First, be patient. Seriously, this takes time. Focus on making steady progress, not on being fluent tomorrow. It's a long game.
Manage expectations. Got it.
Second, mix it up. Don't just do grammar drills. Combine the focused study with fun stuff. Watch Netflix, play games in English, read blogs about your hobbies. Make it enjoyable.
Keep it interesting.
And third, stay curious. Use English as a tool to learn about things you genuinely love. Cooking, history, tech, whatever floats your boat. Learning becomes more natural when it's about discovering something cool.
Using the language for a purpose you already care about. Smart.
It really shifts the dynamic. So yeah, looking back at everything, the goals, routines, skills, tech, immersion, handling challenges, the mindset, it really provides a roadmap.
A roadmap showing that learning English on your own is definitely doable and, well, pretty powerful.
Totally. It puts you in charge. With that kind of structured approach, drawing on these strategies, using the resources smartly, and just keeping at it, real progress isn't just possible, it's likely.
It's about crafting your unique path.
Exactly. And knowing all these tools and techniques exist makes that path seem much less daunting, much more achievable.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Considering all these strategies and ways to learn English effectively on your own terms, what's one small concrete step you could take today, right now, even to move forward on your English journey with a bit more direction, maybe a bit more confidence, and definitely a bit more enjoyment?
É isso, pessoal! Espero que tenham gostado do podcast e que as 5 perguntas tenham ajudado a melhorar seu listening e vocabulário em inglês. Continuem praticando, sejam consistentes e vocês vão ver o inglês de vocês evoluindo a cada dia. Se curtiu, deixe seu like, se inscreva no canal Inglês de Verdade para mais conteúdos e ative o sininho para não perder as próximas aulas. Deixem nos comentários sua pontuação no quiz ou alguma dica que vocês usam para aprender inglês. Até o próximo vídeo e continuem arrasando na jornada do inglês.
E se você assistiu até aqui e quer aprender inglês sem gastar um centavo durante todo o processo de aprendizagem, com acesso a ferramentas, atalhos e mentoria que vai fazer com que você absorva o inglês de forma rápida e natural, eu te convido a conhecer o método Os 9 Passos para a Fluência, onde você vai conhecer a forma correta de aprender um inglês.
Good. Now we can go in the water.
Com acesso a ferramentas que irão te auxiliar nesse aprendizado. E o melhor, todas encontradas de forma gratuita. E entre essas ferramentas, uma você usará para manter contato com nativos do inglês para que sua prática de conversação seja mais eficaz. Porque nada melhor do que absorver o inglês diretamente da fonte. E quando eu digo que essas ferramentas são gratuitas, eu não quero dizer que apenas o primeiro mês será grátis, como degustação. E que se você quiser continuar usando, você terá que pagar. Todas as ferramentas que serão apresentadas a você nesse método são gratuitas para o resto da vida, até quando você quiser usar. Esse método é perfeito para você que não tem ideia de como e por onde começar, e para você que já tem um conhecimento em inglês, mas ainda não conquistou a fluência. Nele você será apresentado a atalhos que vão acelerar seu aprendizado, que estudantes que estão começando não fazem ideia que existem. 99% das pessoas que colocarem esse método em prática, seguindo passo a passo, conseguirão realizar seu sonho de se tornar fluente em inglês. Então, se você acha que finalmente chegou a hora de realizar seu sonho e dominar de vez o inglês, clique no primeiro link da descrição, que eu tenho certeza que você não vai se arrepender.